I'm going to be discussing NoteWeaver scales. So the scales are applied. If you look up the upper right-hand corner, as I change the scale, you can see the scale that's selected. There's 256 scales to select from. Each layer of your played note decoding functions has its own scale applied to it. So that way you can have 7 layers of harmonizing if you want. So let's go to the scales. Here I have, well, here's a regular chromatic scale. So, okay, so if I select a major scale, so those are laid out chromatically, and you can get some really nice sounds. The fact that 7 doesn't evenly divide into 12, it means that as one plays along the notes, you can get some really some, you can go like this, hit the black notes. There are a whole bunch of scale templates to choose from. And so and if you see down here, the scale, when you change the scale templates, these notes get updated, and these notes right here get updated. And this is middle C, let's C, and these all represent this octave right here of notes, the middle C octave. Now in these templates, I've recently added a bunch of scales from a book called Musical Scales of the World by Michael Hewitt, which is a wonderful book which goes into detail on all kinds of different scales and how they're applied, why you raise one note or another, or lower another note, and also history of the scales. He really gets into it, so I highly recommend this book. One can build scales, one can swap notes like that on the scales. One can turn notes on and off like that. One can swap them like that. One can view these in a 5/7 style. Here's a 5 grouping of notes like on a regular keyboard. Here's a 7 grouping, or a 6/6 style. This is a major scale. 3/4/1. You can also do ordered scales. Down here, if you select ordered and go like this, hit. Here are 2 semitone runs. And then go to the next one, it goes. And then the next one. And the next one. And then 5, 6, 7, perfect fifths, 8, 9, 10, and it goes all the way up to 24 total semitone runs. So what I'll do, I'm going to go to play and select 8 channels for the echo, and let's speed that up a little, and then go back to scales, and there's chromatic. There's major. There's whole tone. leading whole tone flamenco. Very different. And let's go back to play. Let's make this one channel. And let's go to vibraphone. Here we go. We can go really fast if we want. And go back to scales. Blues. Blues major. So there's all kinds of fun scales. You just experiment. It can be really good for music theory training or music theory from teachers or professors or music theory learning. Now, it should be said that most people already know how to play, and I want to make the point that there is nothing that compares to people who already know how to play keyboards and who can turn on a dime. And normally, you all that know how to play already would be playing chromatically. I'm simply demonstrating all kinds of scales that can be experimented with if people want to experiment with them. So also, like if you already know how to play, one really nice thing is to be able to put the different harmonies in different layers of the notes. And normally one would use, let's say, 3 layers or 4 layers for harmonies. You could go all the way up to 7 layers of harmonies. And typically I've heard that harmonies shift the notes by thirds or sixths. So you could just simply transpose your scales. And if there's any scale notes that don't fit well, you can go into scales and you can edit by column and skew and go like this and change the notes that don't fit well. Once a group of, like, let's say 4 scales are set up to harmonize with, you can use them from then on. And you can harmonize any way you want. And typically I've heard people, when they're harmonizing, they use different volumes. So like if you're playing one volume here, you might want to lower the volume on the next note, as these notes, as these different layers are playing through these different synth voices. There's a way, this says single bump scale each click. If we click single here, or put this in single mode, then every time, see that right there, the viewed scale, every time a note is clicked, it makes the next scale, entire scale, it bumps it by 1. And if you click multi plus, you can click multiple notes like that, and then click it again, and then this will automatically go to the next scale. So you can shift different scale notes, click it again, turn different scale notes on or off, click it again, and add more scale notes, click it again, that kind of thing. You can shift the scale. You can reverse the scale, and then you can go, let's go to the chromatic like this. If we go to reverse it, it reverses everything. And then we shift that back so that, this, by the way, everything's in base 12. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, 10. Like, let's reverse that again. These are the low notes and these are the high notes here. So this is, and by the way, the scale notes simply remap all the different output notes from 0 to 127 to 0 to 127. So this way, by using base 12, octaves all line up. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 60, like 46, 56, 66, that kind of thing. Basically, that's how scales work. Hope you enjoyed that, and that's all. Thank you.